Hey, what is up, you guys? Mr. Cruz here, the littest teacher you never had, back with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be looking at BandLab. So as I said in my last video, I'm going to be focusing a lot more on BandLab with my tutorials because a lot of you guys have been asking me questions about it and I want to be able to help you guys out. So just for today, this is going to be a really short video. All I'm going to do is give you an overview of what we have here. So I'm pretty much going to start over with my BandLab tutorials as if those previous ones did not exist, because I mean they were kind of low quality and I rushed them, and they were mainly for my students in my music production class. So here I'm going to give you guys additional information, better information, more advanced information for those of you who kind of want to be able to do more but you don't know quite how. All right, so for starters, up here we have what's called our transport window. So you have all of your settings up here, and if you go through these, there's not really a whole lot that we have here. We'll go over track down and mix down tracks and mix down in the future. Cycle, I mean, you can do that right here from the front, from our transport panel. In view. In view, we have this thing called snap to grid. What snap to grid does is, I mean, it kind of self-explanatory. It tells you that it'll snap it to grid. So let's say I have my instrument here selected. I'm going to record a region, just something really quick. That was trash. But what snap to grid does is, you see how we have these little lines here? They're kind of faded in the background. Snap to grid, when it's enabled, it'll snap your region to those grids. So you kind of see how when I'm dragging it in between, it kind of goes smooth, but then when it gets kind of close to the line, it'll kind of make a snap judgment, and kind of like snap judgment. What does that even mean? It'll snap to that to that measure or that bar. Also, I usually like to set it to bar. Right, by default it's set to smart, and that's great if you're more advanced and you kind of know what you're doing. If this isn't kind of like something that's pretty new to you, smart would work well. But when it's bar, you have these bigger snaps and these bigger jumps, and that'll kind of help you to prevent, when you're moving things around in the future, for them to kind of start sounding good when you start the beat or when you start playing your song, to then end up sounding really bad and offbeat towards the end of it, as like the cursor kind of moves further along in your song. I would keep that to snap to bar, grid size to bar for that. Here, this is just kind of it. Yeah, well, it just widens or makes the window a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller. Not really that important. And then theme, you can kind of pick between a couple of different themes here. I like to keep it dark because it's easier on the eyes. And last one, we have settings. So settings here, zoom. This will zoom in for your, like, if we had our region selected. I think it should be have your region selected. Zoom link. Let's see. Oh, okay. So when you have your whatever you have selected, when you hit zoom, it'll zoom to whatever it is that you have selected. Enable metronome. You can also do that from right here. That's what this is. And metronome settings. So here you kind of have a little bit of flexibility as far as like the sound, the type of sound that you want your metronome to sound to be, how loud. I usually like to have it a little on the lower side, and then how many count-ins you want to have. So if it's a one count, all right, if you have it set to off, that means that the moment I hit record, it's going to start recording. Right? If I change it, I think I can do that from here. Let's see. Yeah, okay. If I change it to 1 bar, that means it'll count 4 times. Oops. It'll count, we'll have a 4 count before it actually starts recording. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. And then it'll start recording. If I have a 2 bar count, that means we'll get an 8 count before it starts recording. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Boom. All right. So that's what that means. And now let's get into these right here that we have. So this over here is my undo button. If I make a mistake, just hit undo. And I think there's no limit to how many times you can undo that. This is my redo button. So if I made a mistake by undoing something and I want to redo it, then I can hit redo in the future. So it's like if I accidentally delete something, but I want it back in, then I realize, hey, I don't want that back in. Never mind. I undo or I redo the delete. Cycle, when you hit cycle, this red bar up here at the top lights up. And when it is lit up, that means my cursor, when it gets to the very end of this red bar, it's going to jump all the way back to the beginning and it's going to cycle or loop whatever is highlighted here. You can also move this around and you can stretch it if you want to make it longer. And I think if you double click it, or clicking it will turn it off. Clicking it will also turn it on, but you can hit this or you can hit C on your keyboard in order to kind of do a hotkey to that. This right here is split at playhead. What that does is it'll cut a region in half. So I'm going to makeshift record something. Something whack. So wherever I move my cursor to, if I hit this button, if whatever region is selected will be split by that playhead. I believe I can also duplicate this track. And if I have two regions selected, one on top of another, it'll split all of them that I have selected. All right, so that's pretty useful when it comes to editing. This is my go to the beginning. This is play. This is move to the end. This is start record. And this is my time code. So my time code just tells me how many seconds, milliseconds, or minutes my song is, and it kind of moves along with the playhead. So if you wanted to find out, if you wanted to make something that's 30 seconds long, move it to wherever 30 seconds is, and then just realize that, all right, at this point, I've reached the 30-second mark. Let me see. I didn't realize you can change this. Yeah, okay. So you can change it to bar if you want to. I don't really know too many people that do that. I just keep it at seconds and minutes. Key. This is where you can set the key to the song for you to kind of keep track. And if I'm not mistaken, let me see here. Oh, got the wrong one selected. All right, nope. Kind of what I anticipated. This tells you what key your song is in. This doesn't work for your instruments. What this works for is your loops. Whenever you go to your loops, whatever loop you drag into your session, it'll make sure that that loop is playing in whatever key you set here. This is your tempo. You can change it by tapping on the tempo over here, right? You can add and subtract, or you can kind of hover your cursor over it and then click and drag it up or down. You got to click and hold. This is your time signature. So 4/4 means that there will be 4 counts in a measure. You can change it to, let me see what else we can change this to. Ooh, that's a time set. No, not familiar with that. Not even going to go there. All right, but most songs, most popular songs today are in 4/4, and then our tempo and our metronome, and then our level here. So I want to explain something here. This is what would be your master channel, or your master bus, your master track, your master volume. Do not touch this. All right. This, because it is at 0 dB, this kind of helps us to make sure that we don't do something called clip. Clip is kind of when we start to get, when something is so loud, it starts to distort and sound really ugly and like grungy and whatnot. You don't want that. You want sounds to sound crisp and clear, unless this is your intention for your sound to sound distorted. So when you bump this up, you're automatically going to get distortion. Not automatically, but you're ensuring yourself that you're going to be in a bad position with the quality of your sound. So I would keep it at 0. Do not touch it. If you want something to be louder, you can either turn it up here, right? Turn your instrument up, or just turn the volume up on your computer. But anyways, this is what I got for you guys for today. Check in the next video and I will go over some more things here. And then have another video going over loops, and then we'll kind of get into more of the fundamental stuff. So that's what I got for you guys today. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Go check out my website in the description below, and go download yourself a free drum kit that's available on my website, the Summer Break Drum Kit. It's your boy, Mr. Cruz, out.